Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of the PokerGO podcast. My name is Donnie Peters. His name is Tim Duckworth. What's up, buddy?
What's up?
You need to stand up and show the people. Actually, no. We don't even need to do that. People can see this. We have pictures.
We have pictures. We'll put them right about.
We have pictures. No, we're gonna put them
like
everywhere. I mean, it's just absolutely
beautiful,
absurd what this guy is wearing.
Beautiful.
I don't care that you wear that.
Okay.
Listen, if you came in wearing this nonsense back in the days when Gary Gates was running the team, your ass would have been sent so far home.
Yeah.
Back to Geelong. See ya.
That is my home
Adios. Goodbye.
It's a new age. It's a new dawn.
Absolutely.
It's a new era at the World Series of Poker.
You should watch the last 15 minutes of the stream. You walked across.
Oh, yeah? I did?
Ali called you out.
But Sean, rest assured, if there's poker being played on this complex, he's going to be involved. Look at Tim Duckworth there. He's gone full Outback Thriller there with the denim vest.
Just crushing it.
Mullet, stash, all coming together. Shout out, Tim.
Really leaning in.
I mean, you think he's part of the Sharks or the Jets? It's full West Side Story action.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. On today's show, Renat Bohdanov winning the 3K Freezeout. We got the 10K PLO down to two players, Phil Sternheimer and Bruno Firth. PLO8. Yes, that is correct. 100K high roller is down to its streamed final table. They bagged with 8 players remaining. The $1,500 horse is down to 18. The seniors high roller bagged day 1. Victor Blom is leading the 10K limit hold'em, not no limit, limit hold'em. And then we got the monster stack update, draws 2,000 runners on day 1B. Notice how yesterday we had like 19,000 winners. Today we have 1. Kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Right? Kind of interesting. If you would like to make things interesting, head on over to playpokergo.com where it's all action all the damn time. Let's go. No bots, no gimmicks, just real players like you and I looking for fun, competitive poker, ring games, tournaments, sit and goes. Those sit and goes are now themed. No gamble, no future. It's all for free. It is all on playpokergo.com. Authentic poker action for people who love to play, not pretend. Play Poker Go is available on web at playpokergo.com. You can also get it on iOS and on Android. So sign up for free today. Playpokergo.com. Before we get into the meat of this episode, I got a story.
Okay.
I'm gonna call it a community cards because
wait. That mean we can do the dance?
You can definitely do the dance. I'm not gonna dance, but go ahead.
And it's time for a new edition of the PokerGo Podcast Community Cards.
It's absolutely outrageous. It really is just absolutely outrageous here. It's 1:30 in the evening, by the way. I feel like I have to update people what time it is.
We have had a lot of people say, yo, you guys are recording so late. I catch it
we got to wait for all this nonsense to end.
Some people said, is it really that late? I was like,
yes, no, I'm not lying.
We're not lying.
1:33 a.m. right now on Friday, June 13th. Shout out Friday the 13th.
Ooh, spooky.
So Ryan Brown, people remember Ryan Brown from many moons ago. My first time playing the WSOP main event, I played with Ryan Brown on day 1. I had a super tough table, or at least what I thought was a super tough table. I think Ryan would agree with me. Plenty of other players would agree with me. For example, one player at my table, a Frank Brannon, who
yes,
at the time, I kind of recognized him, but didn't really. I mean, he's out here playing 100Ks, 50Ks. Like, he's sitting next to Timothée Chalamet, next to the court, at the Knicks games. I mean, the guy's unbelievable. So, anyway. Remember, I had that Queens versus, what Ryan told me was Ace's hand. We later found out his name. I said, if this guy doesn't amount to something, it's going to be ridiculous. Like, he's for sure good enough. He's going to amount to something. Remember the name Ryan Brown. Well, if you guys have been paying attention, Ryan Brown, 5th at WPT Choctaw recently, made the final table, played it out here in Vegas. He got 5th for $92,000. I think the buy-in was $3,800. And then 4th at the MSPT Michigan Poker State Championship for $142,000. That was like, I don't know, 3,000 entries or something ridiculous in there. But funny story about him and the Choctaw thing. I saw him today. We were chatting for a while. Hope he doesn't mind me sharing this story. I would assume not, because it's not that, private of a story or anything nuts. But just a funny little insight here. So he gets down to Choctaw, him and his girlfriend, Debbie, who they went deep together in the main event, I believe 2 years ago.
Yes.
There was, we talked about him on the stream. There was a write-up about him, all that sort of stuff. So anyway, they're playing WPT Choctaw. She busts 2 bullets, he busts 1 within like an hour. But they're like, and they're kind of like over it, right? If I'm getting the story correctly from what Ryan told me, basically a friend said, listen, you guys already paid for the room. You might as well just stay, whatever. They were like, no, the heck with it. We're going to go home. So a friend talks him into staying. They stay. Ryan buys back in. Boom. Final table. Boom. 5th place, 92K. Crazy. And part of this is that Ryan was like hasn't really been winning when it comes to poker tournaments. You just know how it is. Variance sucks. Can kick you in the teeth every single day. He's just kind of over it, right? Well, no, boom, 92K. Then he's like, you know what? Let's just go up to this Michigan event, per recommendation of our friend. Boom. 4th place, $142,000. So
Damn.
Kind of crazy there, right? Kind of crazy. So that's the story on Ryan Brown. I told you to remember the name, Ryan Brown.
Think he listens to the pod?
Huh?
Think he listens to the pod?
He has.
Okay.
And he said, I haven't listened in a while, and I need to get back to listening. So maybe he hears this, maybe he doesn't. Doesn't matter if he does or doesn't. I don't care. He doesn't need to listen to the pod.
I want to throw out, I'm going to add to your community cards. A lot of people coming up to us, giving out a lot of hats. I had one guy, I'm trying now, Evan. You remember when we shouted out, he won like a circuit ring, I think it was in Canada. You remember that name?
Yeah.
Evan.
He
Okay,
he emailed it in. I think it was a $500 buy and he won like 50K or something.
He was like, he ran up to me. He said, hey, it's Evan. Can I get a hat? Yeah, I gave him a hat. A lot of people, coming up to us, wanting a hat, having a chat, old time listeners like Evan and all these other guys, but also we're finding a lot of new ones. They just stumbled upon it on YouTube and are tuning in the last, few days, few weeks that we've been doing this. So if you do see us, come say hello. Family Pot. That is the magic password to get this hat right here. 1 box is gone.
Dang.
We're already into the second box. There's only 4 boxes, 25 hats in each box.
I told you to order more.
No, 100. So it feels like
we should just order more.
No. This is my hats
should.
this year. Next year, when you do your hats, you can do your rules. These are my rules. These are Tim's rules.
All right.
100 hats. You got to get them. No reservations, nothing.
Well, there is one reservation.
Who?
Billy Brown.
I don't know about that. I don't know about Billy Brown.
I was at the Venetian today doing commentary on the $1,100 MSPT event going down there, and I'm done. I'm walking out in the hallway of the Grand Canal Shops. I hear, Donnie Peters, Family Pot. I'm like, what the heck is going on? I turn around. There's a gentleman there, introduces himself, Billy Brown.
Yeah.
I said, listen, I'm sorry, I don't have any hats with me, but I will reserve one. I know we're not reserving one, but because you did hit me with the password in person, then it gets reserved. Right? I mean, that's the same
Fine,
thing.
48 hours, Billy Brown. You got 48 hours to come.
I said, listen, you got to come over
Yeah.
here, and I think he's going to come over here at some point. So, I'll see him at Billy Brown. Another one, Ingo Clausen.
Ingo.
He goes
like a dingo ate my baby.
I guess so, but he's German. He's not Australian.
Oh, okay.
Walking around, I was doing something out there. He's like, Donnie Peters? I'm like, yeah. He's like, Family Pot. I'm like, all right, you get a hat, sir. Let's go. Ingo around here playing finished 3rd in the $1,500 Raz last summer for 64Ks out of Germany. So Ingo,
good run.
Shout out. Hasn't had success yet at this summer, but I gave him the lucky hat, so now it's coming. Right?
Well, if he had it last year, he would have finished 2nd.
That is probably true.
Yeah,
but listen, we'll take 3rd. $1,500 Raz is coming up, so hopefully he runs it back to at least 3rd, if not better. Shout out Ingo. Well, there we go. That's the community cards segment. All right, over to the 3K Freezeout. Nolan Hold'em, of course. Renat Bohdanov topped 1,027 entries. I really wanted to play this tournament. He wins 50. He wins $451,000. $50,000 would be pretty crappy, but I will say that this is his second bracelet, and the first one he won. The reason why I said 50 is because he won a bracelet in 2019 at WSOP Europe. He won the €350 opener for 53,000 euros. He told Poker News afterwards, he said, this one was very important because it feels like a bigger one and more important. So I'm excited. So that is from a bracelet winner who had a previous one, €350 buy-in for 53K. He wins it sounds like what he deems as a much better, bigger, important bracelet.
Yep.
He said it. So yeah, good for him. He was the chip leader with 8 players left in this one. It was not smooth sailing. I was following the updates over on pokernews.com. He kind of, he started kind of good and then kind of drifted back towards the middle of the pack / bottom half, but was ultimately able to come out on top. So shout out there to Renat Bohdanov, who is now a 2-time WSOP gold bracelet winner. You got anything? It looked like you were about to talk.
No.
5th place in this event, Anatoly Nikitin, who I saw a tweet today from Joe McKeon saying we need to put this guy on more feature table streams because he's an absolute character. In I think it was the 50K high roller, might have been the 25K high roller. One of those high rollers, he was deep in it. And he was an absolute trip from what I saw. So Anatoly Nikitin out of Russia, I think we should, at times put him on the list for like kind of wacky stuff. He's one of those ones where, let's say you're debating between a main event table, because you do a lot of this, and it's like, every table kind of has like one name pro, but then there's one name pro at one table with Anatoly Nikitin. Maybe we pick that table.
So we're going to mark him up a little bit.
Yeah. We got to mark him up. I mean, he seems like he could be a little wacky up there, having a little fun. So he's a good guy. Listen, if you can get the seal of approval from Joe McKeon,
that's pretty big.
That's pretty effing important. Big. Like, I mean, I'm just like ready to like give you the keys at that point. So 10K PLO 8, not just regular PLO. This is high, low, baby. It is down to Phil Sternheimer and Bruno Firth. They are heads up. They bagged up. Why didn't they want to play? Was this like, or were they done? What was the deal?
This is my read on the situation, okay? 3-handed play. Sean D buried the lead there. Sean D was also 3-handed with these guys. Bruno had a lot of chips. Then Sean had a lot of chips.
How is that burying the lead?
Because you didn't mention that D finished 3rd.
Yeah, because he's no longer in the tournament, and I'm updating the tournament. He was
chasing, whatever. Anyway, let's move on.
I'm just saying, D is not in the tournament
anymore, yeah. But Sternheimer was really short. He played a big pot against Bruno where he was a favorite and got rivered for 3/4. So he was short. We thought he was going to be out. It was going to be D versus Firth. Sternheimer mounted a big comeback. He went on a big heater. D got knocked out in 3rd. And then with about 10 minutes to go in the level, Sternheimer was a big chip leader against Bruno. They took a little bathroom break. And we were thinking, you know what? Phil probably wants to keep playing. He's riding that rush. And I think, he's used to playing late nights, playing high stakes cash games. He probably feels like he may have an advantage on Bruno as well. They did ask, you guys, what do you want to do? He's like, well, let's just play the level out and then decide. They came back 10 minutes to the level. Bruno won when I was standing there watching a few kind of sizable pots, closed that gap, and then I think they bagged. So I think the plan was probably for Phil, if that 10 minutes went his way, he might have really tried to push Bruno to keep playing. These mixed game guys, ride the heater, ride the rush. But because he lost a few pots to Bruno, I think he was kind of happy bagging up, getting some sleep, coming back here, fresh the next day, 1 o'clock to try and take down his first bracelet.
So $763,000 up top. These two players are guaranteed $508,000. Bruno Firth is looking for his 3rd WSOP gold bracelet. Sternheimer is looking for his 1st, as Tim just mentioned. Bruno also won one earlier this summer, so he could be another 2-time winner, trying to get up there with Benny Glauser. For Sternheimer, his deepest ever WSOP run is this one. Previous best was 3rd. He has 2 prior 3rd place finishes. He has a 3rd, a 5th, a 6th, a 7th, a 9th, a 10th, and a 10th. This is already his biggest WSOP score. It's also his biggest ever career tournament score. So Phil Sternheimer, Bruno Firth. Listen, I know we're not really rooting for people out there. I think Sternheimer would be cool. Good guy. He's been around the block quite a bit. So him getting his 1st, I think, would be very meaningful. I'm not so sure I would have guessed that it would have been in the 10K PLO 8. Thought it would have been something in like, I don't know, 10K Dealer's Choice, 10K H.O.R.S.E, 25K H.O.R.S.E, something like that. I don't know, 10K triple draw, whatever. More of a like kind of straightforward mixed game versus a I mean, this is like kind of a merge, a big bet mix game, right? So, but nevertheless, first place is the first place. This one comes with a whole crap ton of money, $763,000 up top. It is currently Phil Sternheimer, $14 million, Bruno Firth, $9.1 million. They're going to come back on Friday and finish it out, and we'll keep tabs on that. It was Sean Deeb in third place, Brian Hastings fourth, Chris Vitch fifth. So pretty stacked group of final table contenders. Why does it say question for Donnie?
I have you always throw these questions on me. I got a question for you.
Yep.
And this is more of a question about your personal stance and integrity.
Do you know why I throw questions on you, by the way?
To keep me on my toes.
No. To keep you talking. Because I talk
way too much.
I talk way too much. So I need to throw questions to you so I stop myself from talking.
I think if you're very, what's the guy's name? Is it Colin Cowherd? You can just talk for days. That's kind of like you.
Yep. And then you're my joy.
I don't watch the show, so I don't know.
I think that's correct. I'm sure producer Rich will correct me in our group chat about that.
Sure.
But
well, I'm pretty close.
I'm pretty sure, by the way, that Nick Wright started as Colin Cowherd's like right-hand man, or like that was one of his things, I think. So you could be the next Nick Wright. You guys have a similar fashion sense.
Mine's way better.
And Nick's is way more expensive.
That is true.
There you go.
eBay, baby. I'm very close with Phil. We built the Mixed Game Series together. Obviously, I've seen him around the World Series many, many years. He made a deep run in the Dealer's Choice, last week. And he was like, I thought this was the one. I think I told the story to you about how I went and got him that coffee after he knocked it over on our set. And I said, that's okay. You're going to get it. It's coming. He goes, I feel it's coming. PL08, this event, 3 tables left, came over to me. He's like, this is the one. I go, this is the one. And he goes, when I win this, I want you in my winner's picture. Now, this is the question for you. What is your stance on that? Me personally, I'm close with Phil. It's not like it's you or one of our close friends over 18 years. I don't think that's a good look for us media, the neutral party to be in a poker player's winner's photo, unless it's a truly close friend. What are your thoughts?
I mean, it's ultimately up to you. I would say, first and foremost, just take your badge off. Unlike our president, Maury Escandani, who's in someone's winner photo
that was Dan Heimler.
with his Dan Heimler, which I had no idea that those two were close
besties.
at all.
They're besties.
I have no idea what's going on with that relationship. I mean, we need to get Maury on the podcast and just flat out ask him, what's the deal with you and Heimler? Are you guys
He's going to probably tell us stories
hanging out, having some coffee on Sunday morning together? What the heck is this relationship? I mean, I think it's fine if you get in the winner photo with Phil. I've been in a couple winners photos. They've all been close friends of mine. So yeah,
I think I'm against it. So I hope it happens. I hope he does win. I know we said we don't cheer for people, but I think Phil's a good guy. Doesn't have a bracelet, so that's what we're cheering for. We like to see these, these lists of best poker players. We like to see people get knocked off that. So let's scratch his name, give him a bracelet, or let him win a bracelet here, and I'll cheer from the rail, and won't be in the picture.
Listen, you can get in the picture if you want. I'm not going to judge you.
No, but that's my personal stance. I know everyone thinks differently. I think that's just the way I think. I just wanted to see your thoughts.
At this point, I mean, everything's just jumped the shark in poker, so I could give two shits at this point. I mean, the stuff that I see, I'm just like, what the hell is going on? So I'm just, just like, hop in the wood, sit on his lap for all I care. Whatever, man.
Definitely not happening.
All right. 100K high roller down to a streamed final table. 8 players remain. Aram Aganyan has a big old chip lead. Mm-hmm. He's got 20.5 million. Zhao Vieira is second with 13.6. So that gives you an idea of how big that chip lead is there. We got Aganyan and Vieira. You also have Thomas Boyman, Vinny Lingham, Andrew Lucky Chewy Lichtenberger, who just finished second in the 50K high roller, second to Jason Kuhn. Ben Heath is there. Isaac Haxton is there. And Emilian Patavi is also there. These players have locked up $295,000. There is more than $2.6 million up top. It was 103 entries in this tournament. Is that more or less than last year?
I think that's less by 112 last year. Just a little. Just
I thought you were going to say less by 112.
No. Sorry, 112 last year. Yeah.
All right. Oganyan had a huge hand with I think 2 tables left. His aces versus Landon Tice's ace king. I believe he took out Landon Tice on that hand, and that helped propel him into the chip lead. Bohdanov is he's a talker. He's a character. You know, we see him a lot in the studio. He kind of showed up in the studio out of nowhere. I mean, the guy's just nonstop yapping away, but in a good way, very entertaining. He'll chat it up. He'll tell some funny stories, which he told a funny story today, and it was like on the stream, you could kind of hear it. And what I gathered was this. So the game, the rapper at the game. First, he was telling the story of the game. I thought he meant Triple H. I was like,
the real game. Yeah.
I was like, what is going on? No, he meant the game, the rapper. I believe, if I remember correctly from what he said, him and his friends went to a party at the game's house. And one of Aram's friends stole the game's laptop. Seems like a very bad idea.
Yes, I would never do
so
that.
they steal his laptop and they leave. Somehow, the game and whoever, his people, got a hold of them because they knew, told them to come back. So they go back to return it, having stole it, and then they got their ass kicked. Pistol whipped as well, as Aram was telling it. So, I mean, if this guy's got stories like this, I mean, Ali Najad said it on the broadcast. We gotta get the people in charge to sit this guy down and start talking to him.
I have to sit him right here next to us.
Maybe we can get him on the podcast. Yes. I mean, it just sounds like some wild stuff is going on in the life of Aram Bohdanov. It is his second final table of the summer. He got 6th in the 25K 6-max for $257,000. I mentioned Lichtenberger just got second in the 50K. He got second to Jason Kuhn. He cashed for $1,312,000. So, pretty big summer overall, no matter how this one ends up for Andrew Lucky Chewy Lichtenberger. Phil Ivey out in 9th place. It went raise from João Vieira, I believe, with ace-9. Ivey jammed ace-queen suited from the small blind. And in the big blind is Ike Haxton with ace-king. Makes a call, boom, Ivey's out the door, see you later. His first cash of the 2025 WSOP for $247,000. What do you got to say? You are now Ivey's servant, I guess. His butler.
I mean, yeah, I was bringing him his Ray-Bans. I was bringing him his tea, his Spring Valley water. Obviously, I think everyone's cheering for Phil Ivey to not only just make a run.
Is Phil Ivey washed?
Go away.
Okay, listen.
No.
You want to know what you need to do tonight? You're not allowed to sleep. You have to do this. This is homework.
Oh, sure. Okay.
You're out there all the time.
Yeah.
I'm watching the streams.
Yeah.
Watch these hands Phil Ivey played. Well, what the hell is he doing? I'm obviously joking. I'm obviously joking when I say it's Phil Ivey washed, but he for sure played this one hand that I have no idea what the hell is happening.
He plays wacky, but it's Phil Ivey. We can't doubt his.
Did you see
resume.
the king forehand?
No, I've heard about it. It was interesting.
Ivey going to defend with the king-4 offsuit. Vieira going to look up at a flop once more, and this time he's behind with Ivey. Finding middle pair on the queen-high rainbow board, slips it over.
Always fun to see how João approaches these spots when he doesn't have the best hand. He's certainly one of the more lethal players in terms of finding all sorts of creative lines in the aggressive fashion.
Ooh, look at this turn here. Any murkiness in the waters in which Ivey waded has been relieved as things are crystal clear with trip 4s and a king kicker. Very cozy with 800 in the middle. Vieira south of 2-1 SPR with this ace high.
Would not be surprised if we see a lead here from Ivey. Yeah, immediately reaches for chips.
And
perhaps some sort of float that had some small amount of equity, like king-9 of diamonds might go for it here. Yeah, and he keeps him honest, the ace-jack. He's going to face an incredibly tough decision on the river.
Ivey's decision, which could be an ask for all of it potentially.
I would be highly surprised if he puts any more chips in the pot. Ivy just checking. That actually might.
Maybe. Wow, Vieira has
so
jammed.
Sick. This is so sick. I really think Vieira was done with the hand if Ivy bet, and now he's... No way!
My goodness! Ivy just deciding that the backdoor clubs were the only thing that Vieira possessed, given the jam on the end, and he didn't make a meal of his decision whatsoever, quite comfortably folding the trip fours, but not doing so correctly.
I mean, what? Jesse Sylvia was shocked in the booth. Al-Nijah was shocked in the booth. I get multiple messages on my phone. What the hell am I watching?
It's obviously.
I started thinking, you know what I thought of? That time when he folded the flush because he like misread his hand or the board. I was like, did Ivy not realize he had trips? What the heck is going on here?
So I got two things. First of all, Zhao definitely had ace 5 or ace 4, so it was a great fold by Phil.
Yeah, Zhao had ace high, but okay.
And so when poker players look at their hand, right? They like to look at that top corner. There's certain ways people peel, right?
Yeah.
Phil Ivey is a different animal. He kind of squeezes the bottom corner. If you're a Baccarat player, you kind of know what I mean. He squeezes more Baccarat style. So I think he's like susceptible to more misreads than the normal poker player. So maybe he just...
I mean, I was honestly like, did he misread his hand the way that he just like check folded so
maybe he thought he had king 5. That would make sense, right?
I mean, I guess.
You know, floats and then just tries to bluff. Oh, it didn't pound out. I just let my hand go.
I mean,
because if you think about it, a 4 and a 5 is the same. It's got the 2 pips on the side, 1 pip in the middle for the 5. You know, if he's doing the Baccarat squeeze, if you guys watch him on stream, just watch that. Sometimes he squeeze bottom corner. You know, do you know?
I thought it was.
You get
a
what I mean
fold.
though with the squeeze. Like he likes to do.
I know he looks at his freaking hands weird.
Yeah. So maybe that was it. But yeah, I can't explain it. But how we cannot question the great, the GOAT, the 11-time bracelet winner, Phil.
What was this?
Jerome Ivey.
I mean, listen, I'm not. He's obviously not washed. He's freaking Phil Ivey, right? He still got it. Yes, I'm just pointing out. I'm exaggerating, using a bit of hyperbole to make a point. Is he just not as up to speed when it comes to no limit hold'em? He's obviously elite in all the other games, but
that's a good point. Yeah,
the no limit hold'em stuff, right? I just
like
that just
is he as well studied as Isaac Haxton and Ben Heath? Probably not. So he's probably going through the motions a little bit. But you put him in the 10K start, and he's easily one of the top players there.
I thought this was absolutely wild. It was just absolutely wild.
It's hard to explain.
I think many people agree with me with I got a dozen text messages instantly about what the heck just happened.
Should we text? Should we get Maury to text Phil? Ask him.
We should. Hey, buddy, what the hell is going on with
the King 4? Did our graphics machine break?
We should
again?
Honestly get Maury to text him and ask him. What's he going to say? What's he going to not answer? Who cares?
Possibly. He's like, it was your fault. You put me up there on the stage. The bright lights.
Hey, we can.
I didn't have my bucket hat. You know, that's why. By the way, this is why Donnie has his no gamble, no future bucket hat. As you mentioned, called it, the Phil Ivey servant. I know he wants the bucket hat up there because of the lights. So we stopped by the shop. We got this white one, thinking, we'll keep him cool.
Should you tell the people how we stopped by the shop? We walk up to the shop. Okay, there's one nice girl.
I've never seen her before.
Yes, never seen her.
Yeah,
she obviously has no idea who we are.
No, we're no ones.
We just walk up there. Tim, looking like this. Okay,
I had my badge on. Okay,
whatever.
I didn't have my badge on.
He says, "I'm gonna steal a bucket hat." This is what he says to her. Hey, how's it going? I'm gonna steal a bucket hat. She looked like she saw a ghost. Yeah. She's like, what? Because we're like two guys walking into this booth. She's sitting there behind this little podium, and she must have been like, what the F is going on? No one's around to help me. Well, and Tim was like, oh, yeah, by the way, sorry, we work for PokerGo. Here's my badge. Yeah. I should have led with that. Talk about burying the lead. Should have led with, hey, I'm so-and-so from PokerGo.
Yes,
here's my badge. Boom.
My fault.
We're going to take this for this reason, whatever. No, I'm going to steal a bucket hat. Straight to her face.
Yeah, that was bad.
Looking like, this guy. Like you just got off the motorcycle outside. The new biker bandit, right? No. The new biker bandit.
No, it's redneck. It's Canadian tuxedo. That's what people call it. It's like my redneck outfit.
Yeah,
the vest.
Whatever.
I got the jorts on, rocking it. But yeah, I got this for him. He just decided to go hat, hoodie over the hat and the glasses. He went for that look, the hidden look. So now that's what. So now Phil Ivey's hat is Donnie's hat, which we'll take back to the shop.
Interesting conversation from Ali Najad. I won't go into it, but
we're not going to touch that one.
It was quite interesting. The $1,500 horse is down to 18 players. Andrei Zigulov leads the way. The final 18 are from a field of 867 entries. Zigulov won this event in 2018. Nico Milgram, baby, fourth in chips. He won the final hand of the night with aces. This is literally the last update in the blog. Says Nicholas Milgram wins last hand of night with aces. That's effing right, beautiful, baby. Let's go. Ari Engel, Thomas Taylor, Linda Johnson, and Alex Livingston also remain. Blaž Žeriov is also in. He's the shortest stack. Do I need to draft this guy for fantasy if he's now a mixed game player?
He will be next year's Tom Carroll for you.
I mean,
has Tom Carroll done anything yet?
So the thing is with Tommy Corral is that he is in the app. He has, I think, at least one cash. He's in the app as not a real name.
Oh, what's he in as?
I think it's like Poker Dude in some numbers. So
what's he doing to us?
So we found that out. So now we can find out his results, which helps. But prior to knowing that, yeah. So that's the, what's that, $1,500 horse. They'll come back tomorrow. They will play it out. When I was out there on the floor checking things out, both Alex Livingston and Ari Engel were sweating the field bonus, which kicked in at 18 remaining, so they got it, as did our guy, Nico Milgram, who continues to perform well. Let's go, Nico. But Andrei Zigulov is going to be tough. Obviously, very, very proficient in horse. The seniors high roller bagged up for day one. Already a good turnout. 748 entries. Registration is still open. It remains open for the first two levels, and I'm assuming the break on day two, which is on Friday. Last year, 680 in this one. So again, 748 this year already. Last year was 680. So nice big boost to the field there. I know you and I were kind of wondering, why is this one before the other seniors? Wouldn't it be better after? That's not to say that if it wasn't after that, they still would have gotten even more. Maybe they get 800, right? Something like that. But nevertheless, still a very, very good turnout. 272 players bagged up for day two. Paul Sneed leads the way. He's had a couple deep runs already this summer, a couple what I believe are top 50 finishes. One of those I think was in the Mystery Millions event. So now he's bagged up quite a healthy stack in the seniors high roller. 5K buy-in for this one, by the way. And players are allowed one re-entry. Also remaining are Danny Fuse, Keith Lear, Andres Korn, Mike Matisow, Sean Kunix. I haven't seen the name Sean Kunix in I feel like ages. Victoria Lifshitz, Angela Jordison, David Pham, the Dragon Baby.
Oh, yeah.
Still doing it. Billy Baxter. Excuse me. Billy. Dan Shack, Josh Aryeh, John Shorman. Here's what John Shorman's end of night routine is. Okay. It is put chips in the bag, DM Donnie. That is literally his end of night routine. Put chips in the bag, send Donnie a message saying 120K seniors to day two. Boom. Let's go, Johnny Shorman.
Did we get a John Shorman song?
I was going to say we still need the Johnny Shorman chant, producer Rich. Let's go.
You didn't put it in, huh? What's he doing?
I mean, I don't know if he put it in. I don't watch back the episodes.
I clicked through it. You don't go to the YouTube comments? I
go to the YouTube comments, but that doesn't mean I need to look at the thing.
Good point. I try and look for when he does like the community cards dance and stuff. I try and find the fun stuff he adds. You know, I don't know if you guys watching yesterday's episode. He added a new intro. Some bracelet shots by Antonio Abrigo with the music. Oh, it was chef's kiss. Beautiful stuff, producer Rich.
I did see in the comments for the last episode that I believe it was Trey. Shout out Trey, real Trey. He's shocked you do not know what up tilt is.
I still don't know what it means. Okay? And I mentioned
absolutely shocked.
Look, up tilt.
Also remaining in the seniors high roller or advancing to day two, David ODB Baker and Eric Seidel.
Does it mean you're on tilt, but now you're on less tilt?
No, it means you're like overconfident. You're like pumped up. So you're just like, you know.
I'm trying to think of upstuck.
You're acting cocky in a way.
Upstuck is when you're up, but now you're down, but you're still up. So you're upstuck. No, up tilt I felt would be the same. I've never heard this. I swear you're just making these words up.
I am 100% not making this up, for sure. Definitely not. I'm also not making up the fact that Victor Blom is leading day 1A of the $10,000 Limit Hold'em Championship. What?
What's going on? Limit Hold'em. Victor Blom.
I don't really understand what's happening either. So Victor Blom is leading the 10K Limit Hold'em Championship. A field of 91 entries. There's day 2 reg, right?
Day 2 reg should be for 2 levels, yes.
Yep. Okay. Benjamin Underwood is second. Joe McKeon always does well.
He's won the Limit Hold'em, right? That's one of his races,
yes,
I think. Yeah.
And he always does very well in this tournament. Justin Smith, 4th. Daniel Negreanu, 5th. D-Negs continues to have a very good summer. Hopefully this is another deep run for him and a sign of things to come, and especially for those that invested in him on PokerStake through his big package, because this is looking like it's going to be his best summer in quite a long time. Obviously, he won the 50K PPC last year, but he's had some final tables already. So if he continues to pile up these big results, D-Negs is going to be hauling in the cash for not only himself, but all of his investors and supporters out there. Anthony Zeno, 6th in tips. Zeno. Dmitry Urbanovich, 7th. David Lieberman, 8th. Coral Thuma in 9th. And Peter DeBest in 10th. Who else is in this? Let me just get to these chip counts. Aaron Koopin, Marco Johnson bagged chips. John Turner, Yuki Zhu, a.k.a. Rich Zhu, bagged chips. Eric Lindgren, Max Hoffman, Ryan Bambrick, who is a 2-time bracelet winner, won a bracelet winner, and he beat Daniel Negreanu heads up in the 10K Omaha high-low earlier this summer. You got Scott Bowman. That's interesting. Yeah, Scott Bowman, he was deep in the $1,500 horse, so he busted that. He went over to register the Limit Hold'em. He bagged for that Limit Hold'em. Scott Bowman, of course, won the 2K, was it? Earlier this summer, beat Dusty Smith heads up. Chris Unikin is back to his Limit Hold'em ways. After his 8th place finish in the $1,500 buy-in for this event, he is now bagging chips for day 2 in the 10K buy-in. He also cashed today in an event. He cashed in the 100K high roller.
Yeah.
Noah Bronstein also in there. Jeremy Osmonds looks like he bagged up. At least he's in the chip counts.
Starting stack, though.
Sure, but he's
still in. Yeah.
At least he's in the chip counts. Looks like they got our guy, Lou Hillman. They got him.
He's got some other events coming. It's all right.
Yeah. All right. Well, sweet Lou, you gave him a hat, right?
I did.
You did.
First thing he did when he came to town, got a hat.
Smart man. You got to get that. You got to get that luck, but obviously not that lucky. But we don't know if he wore it.
We don't know. Yeah, we don't know.
Over to the Monster Stack, 2,010 entries on day 1B. How's this stacking up?
All right. Yesterday, though, for day 1A, 1625, that was down 734 players.
Wait. Where do you get 1625 from?
From day 1A.
So I'm reading Poker News and it says 1872.
I'm taking it from the WSOP Plus app.
See, I'm struggling to follow stuff this year because I feel like everything is all over the place.
Well,
like there's no, here's my problem. I don't feel like there's an official source of information.
Maybe I'm wrong. I'm trying to pull it up. Look, 1625 right here. 1625. So that's what we talked about on the show yesterday.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. I don't, at least in the past, Poker News was the official live reporting team. That's what it was called.
Yeah.
Like that was their tagline, So I don't know. Maybe it didn't matter if they were right or wrong. I believed in it more.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, I'm going to Poker News. I'm trusting Poker News. Okay. Now I just don't know. I mean, we're supposed to look at the app, which is obviously tied directly to the operator. So that should be correct.
Yeah. That's what
but I'm also seeing 1872 in this recap. Let me look at Poker News from day 1A and see what they say. It also says 1872 in the day 1A recap. So I'm just confused.
I'm going with 1625. But that's down 734 players from day 1A last year.
But it doesn't matter.
Today's flight, day 1B, had 2010, as you mentioned. Day 1B last year, 2876. So that's down 866. So in total, we're down 1,600 players from the overall number of 8703 from 2024. But as we've discussed many times, there is an extra flight in this one. So, if it's anything like the Colossus and the Mystery Millions starting a little slow, with that extra flight, I think, we're going to get there. probably something very similar to what it got last year, which was a touch over 8,700 players.
Yeah, I was talking to some various players about this specific tournament. People absolutely love it. Obviously, everyone loves the WSOP main event, of course, but not everyone has $10,000 to buy into the WSOP main event. I know a lot of people do extend or overextend to get into that one, yes, but if you want a very good structure for a WSOP tournament, kind of, main event-esque. I know they have a tournament called the mini main event, but that's much more condensed, plays a little bit faster. This monster stack is, it's a grind, but that's a good thing if you're a poker player that has a bit of time. Multiple starting flights, you can play four flights if you want. So, if that's your sort of thing, then I think the monster stack is perfect for you and always gets a massive.
Yeah.
Who else is doing well over in this thing?
You know what?
Caleb Larson bagged the chip lead.
Yeah, you're on Poker. I'm trying to get the chip counts on the app.
You know why I'm on Poker News? Because my phone is over there recording us. Okay.
Look, I told you.
That is why I'm on
you need to get
News.
a second phone and expense it, or you need to get an iPad and do it and check the app from the iPad. You got to figure this stuff out.
Or these people could just work together and sync stuff. Like what are we doing here? It's just
you read that because they haven't imported any of the chip counts that they want.
See, I don't know what's going on. It's just I don't know what's official and what's not. Caleb Larson first, Romain Lewis third, John Hawley in 9th, Scott Stewart in 14th, Andrew Moreno bagged a big stack.
Oh yeah.
He's on Team Splash Sports and 25K Fantasy, who have been having a freaking week. They had both Jason Kuhn and Nick Schulman yesterday. They also have Andrew Moreno on their team. Funny kind of side story about them drafting Andrew Moreno. They draft Andrew Moreno, which I think is a fine pick. They say afterwards, he told us, or I heard he really wants a bracelet. No shit.
I want a bracelet.
What is that? What does that even mean? I don't even understand. That's how you draft guys. This is the people that we lose to in fantasy. Yeah. People that ask someone something about their schedule, and the person probably said, yeah, I really want a bracelet. And that's what you go off of. Well, no shit. You know who else wants a bracelet? 100,000 people that are at Horseshoe in Paris. Everybody wants a bracelet, okay? It's just these people that draft these teams. It's crazy. You got people drafting John Racner without knowledge that he's not even going to be here half the time. More than half the time. He's probably not going to be here 80% of the time. But what happens? The guy gets off the plane, and I love John Racner, but he gets off the plane and just rips it off. These people just get rewarded for this nonsense. It's absolutely crazy. Craig Varnell looks like he bagged chipped. The king of big stack tournaments, Joe Cata bagged chips. Brian Yoon bagged chips. This is a pretty big field. Oh, by the way, going back to Ryan Brown, him and his girlfriend both bagged chips in the Monster Stack. Ryan bagged day 1A. His girlfriend Debbie bagged today, day 1B. So shout out to them. Also shout out to Ryan Brown. Recently had a 40th birthday, so might as well just make this
Hall of Fame eligible. Ryan
right,
Brown.
I was actually going to make a joke about that, but I was like, you know what? I can't go down to your level. I just can't. And here you are, bringing me down to your level.
We're being neutral here. We're mentioning anyone that is eligible. We're not
anyone that's eligible. You're just eligible.
Yeah,
you're just absolutely eligible.
By the laws of the rules, you are.
The freaking Hall of Fame, man. Don't get me started. Okay. What else we got going on? You do this. What starts tomorrow?
Friday.
We covered everything for today. We covered everything.
Okay, Friday, good. June 13th, spooky. It's day 18 of the World Series of Poker. Kicking off early morning, $1,000 buy-in, pot limit Omaha event. The afternoon event, the Mickey
So tomorrow's going to be a shit show.
Yeah.
Because you got the Monster Stack continuing and the 1K PLO.
Yeah. And
absolute madness.
The
$1,500 RAS.
Oh. So Mickey's back.
I texted him today because I wanted to get some sushi with him.
He has to be back.
I said, when do you get back? I need sushi.
Actually,
he
the
responds,
Panthers played tonight. Was he at the game? I'm confused.
I don't know. He says, if all goes smoothly, he should be back in time to late Reg Raz. I'm assuming that means he
went to the game tonight for sure.
Flying back tomorrow?
He for sure went to the Florida Panthers. Mickey, huge hockey guy, obviously lives in Florida. But he had to go to the game.
We didn't
tonight.
have to go to a game.
No, he goes.
Was it a must-win game?
No, it was not a must-win game. It might have been a must-win game for the Oils, and guess what? They won it.
Sure. So 2 events kicking off. Obviously, 1C is going to be pretty big. We got the conclusion of the 10K PLO8, Sternheimer versus Bruno. We have the 100K High Roller Fund. I'm not sure if you mentioned, but kicking off on PokerGo, we're live streaming the entire way, starting 3 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah, we didn't
6 p.m.
mention that. We suck.
Eastern time. Some new blood on the call. Lon McCarran and Jesse Sylvia are going to bring that
New
one
blood,
home.
like they've never done.
No,
it
as in
before.
Lon hasn't commentated this year, is what I mean for us. So Lon and Jesse, they'll be bringing that home, awarding $2.9 million for first. So
2.649 or something.
A lot of damn money going to the winner of that one.
Yeah, that one's crazy. You messaged today, or you said today, you're like, it feels kind of slow in here.
So yeah, like it was just not. Today was just like a slow
when
day.
I walked in late because I was at Venetian doing that commentary.
Yeah.
It did feel kind of slow in here.
Yeah,
right.
We had a lot of stuff in the other rooms. You know, there wasn't that many restarts here. The restarts were small, like the H.O.R.S.E and obviously the PLO8 and the 100K. So just a quiet day. But look, we're going to kick it up this weekend. It's going to get busy. We got some big events coming. We got Big Field, Monster Stack restarts on Sunday. We got a Seniors Championship around the corner. It's gonna get busy all of a sudden very quickly. So we'll take these quiet days. You know what I'm saying? Take an easy day here and there.
I don't know if I want the quiet days,
but we're gonna have some chaos coming up. So like we have to just enjoy the occasional quiet day, absorb it, reset the batteries.
There hasn't really been anything too crazy that has happened this year. I'm just thinking. This is just kind of a random thought. Other than I mean, I'm just saying, nothing too wild.
It sounds like we're going to do a top 5 moments from the WSOP so far.
You just want us to do a list, right?
Love the list. But no, I kind of agree. I feel like the craziest thing, it's not even crazy, was just the kind of late night Chino versus Nick heads up match. That's not even crazy, right? But that was, everyone was kind of big rail. We were here till pretty late. That's kind of it so far.
I'm a big fan of the nights that I feel like are historic. I mean, those are my favorite nights at the World Series of Poker. Now, obviously, there's nights that, you have the WSOP main event final table and somebody winning and whatnot. But I don't, while that is historic, yes, that's not the type of history that I'm talking about. Do
you mean like last night where we had
last night when you get Kuhn and Shulman, like when I thought the match between Chino and Nick Wagentia and the way that it was going down, and just the whole thing. And part of it is kind of insider knowledge, nostalgia, whatever it may be. Like you have Chino, right, who went through all of his sort of stuff, now has this opportunity again to possibly get a bracelet. He's got a big lead. He's yapping, which is like part of it, right? Then you have the whole thing where you got JRB coming in, but then back in the day when JRB was heads up for his first bracelet and had that big lead over Matt Graham, Chino walked in, and then it all seemed to just fall apart from there. So you had this all coming full circle. So like that sort of stuff, like that really does it for me. Okay, so that night and then last night when you had the Shulman stuff and Kuhn as well, like those are just incredible nights.
Yeah, I get it.
I started to feel a bit of that tonight. You had Deeb, you had Phil Sternheimer, you had Bruno Firth. I think that was really cool. Bruno's going for his second this year. Phil's going for his first. Obviously, Deeb is going for number 35. I don't even know anymore. But also with Deeb, I feel like he's been really, really quiet. Really, really quiet, So eventually Deeb's going to probably rip something off like he does every single year. Third place in the PLO8 event is obviously a really good result. Yes, not a bracelet, but still a very good, respectable result. So maybe we start hearing from Sean Deeb now. So I don't know. I'm just a sucker for those types of nights, and we got a couple of those already. So I'm very much looking forward, to those going forward. But that's all we got, right? You got anything else?
Nah.
All right, cool. He's Tim Duckworth. My name is Donnie Peters. We'll talk to you guys next time.
See ya.